Today on this video, we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts about cancer. And the first do is going to be understanding what cancer is and what's inside the tumors. Tumors are made up mostly of acid and sugars. So when you go in to have a CT scan, they're going to give you a CT scan with or an MRI with and without contrast. And what that does, the contrast goes into the tumors and lights up the sugars that are in the tumors. So that's one thing. What you want to know about why do they put contrast into the CT or MRI, just so they can locate where the tumors are. And one of the other things is watching your diet, and because since the tumors are mostly made up of sugar, you want to reduce the amount of sugar that's in your diet. And unfortunately, a lot of us have a sweet tooth. I know I do, and so I've had to change my diet, especially on like ice cream and milk and everything. So milk is another contributor of helping grow the size of the tumor. So I've had to take that out of my diet. And I was huge on milk. I would be drinking at least a gallon a day because I would have my cereal in the morning and then I'd have my milk. I really enjoyed having milk and I miss it a lot now. So that's one of the big things, is watching your diet and the nutrition that you're taking in. So it's the correct nutrition, and being aware of what type of diet you're on, that it doesn't affect your chemo. For example, some chemo, if you're on a medication, that you got to be careful of what type of greens that you take, because high amount of greens can be a blood thinner. And knowing what type of medications you're on and the chemo that you're taking has an effect on the two. So letting your oncologist know what your diet is and what your supplements are is very important, because the last thing you want to do is start having an issue with the supplements that you're taking versus the chemo that you're taking. So it's alternative medicine and Western medicine together. Western meaning the taking the chemo from one of your local hospitals or cancer centers. And that's another do, is finding out which cancer centers are going to help you the most, because everybody's cancer is a little bit different. Even having melanoma, there's different types of melanoma, like I explained on my previous videos. So I know about melanoma. I don't know much about some of the other breast cancer or any lung cancer or some of the other cancers, because I do know there are different types of melanoma. So understanding what type of cancer that you have and fitting it up with the certain cancer centers that are around this country that would work out for you. Same with the medication that works out with that particular cancer that you have, because some chemo doesn't work with, like, if you have bone cancer or you have lung cancer, there's different types of chemo. So understanding your cancer and understanding the chemo that you need to take is very important. So the knowledge that you have also, it will help you with the depression by you understanding what type of cancer you have and how you personally can fight your cancer that you're dealing with, so you can survive this horrible disease. And looking at the different research that's been out there, so you are armed with the information that you need. So when you go and talk to your oncologist, you can ask them, would this work for me, or what type of medication should I be on? And choosing the center that you have. Like, I have chosen to be with MD Anderson here in San Diego, and MD Anderson is all over the US. It's in Dallas, it's in Arizona, it's in Maryland. I think the main one is in Maryland itself. So checking out the cancer centers that are around you and that they match up with you, and making sure that you get along with the oncologist that you've chosen, and also with the center that you've chosen, that it's comfortable for you. So again, going back to the knowledge, having the knowledge, that's the big do in this, is because when you understand what your cancer is, and you understand the center that you're going to and the medication that you're taking, is a lot easier on your mind because you know what's going on your fight for this disease that you're personally fighting and that I'm fighting. I want to know what's going to be going into my body, and I want to know what's on the doctor's mind. What do they want to do, and what are their plans? So some of the things that I look at is what's the A through Z, having a plan. That's one of the big things I believe is a big do, is having a plan through A through Z, understanding what's a backup medication, what are emergency medications. And for me, the melanoma, the reason that I have some different colors is because I was on IL-2, and that was an emergency backup immune therapy that I needed to be on to save my life because I ended up having a tumor in my kidney. So I resorted to that, which had a lot of it downfalls for me personally. So knowing the side effects, going into it, knowing the side effects, when the side effects hit me when I had left the hospital, because it was an inpatient medication. So when I left the hospital, I knew what I was in for. So when the side effects were hitting me, I wasn't scared. I wasn't having a depression on it, because having depression and being scared is going to really go against your fight of this cancer, of this disease that you personally have, because most tumors react the same on negativity and having depression. And if you are depressed a lot about having cancer, talking to family and checking out different YouTube channels to see how other people have dealt with it, I think is very important. Or even if you need depression medication, it might be something you need to look into and ask your oncologist if that would work for you. Just because it is very difficult to deal with. And even with family, it's difficult for them to deal with. They have their own depression that they're going to be going through, unfortunately, because you're part of their family, and it's hard to see a loved one go through all this nonsense that we have to go through with the cancer, and where it goes and how it spreads. And we're all different of how it spreads. And if it does spread with you, just being positive that you can fight this, and having a plan, again, having a plan of what you want to have done, talking to your oncologist and talking to your radiologist, oncologist, and looking at what the side effects for everything, and being prepared for when these side effects come up, because that's and also having your family members understand what's going to happen on the side effects, whether you have to lose hair or whatever it is, or maybe your mind's not all there, because it has effect on a lot of different aspects of your life. And if you have a tumor that ends up being like mine, where my tumor I had to have removed out of my head, and you have a stroke and having to deal with that too, understanding what you're going to have to go through, whether it's therapy, different types of therapy that you have to go through, whether it's physical, occupational, or speech therapy like I have to deal with. But I'm positive that I'll get over this. I don't have a problem with that. And my family is too. They know how I am to get over things, because I don't believe in harboring the negativities that sometimes they get stuck in your head, that you feel that you're in jail because it's consistently there, thinking about having the cancer, because you're living it every day. You have to wake up with the cancer. You got to go to all these doctor's appointments and wanting to know, how much cancer you have left, and having questions for your oncologist is a huge do, I believe. Making a list and knowing what you want to ask your oncologist or your doctor about what's going on in your body. Should you change your diet, and what type of diet should you be on? Even getting with a nutritionist and seeing what's best for your immune system, because your immune system is a large part of fighting this cancer, whatever cancer you have. Every cancer, so many cancers do not like the diet that has changed. Like, I am a huge activist on alkaline water, because tumors are mostly acidic, and they don't like alkaline, and they don't like sugars. So I give it everything that it doesn't like. So that's how I fight my cancer, by not being my cancer's friend. of fighting the cancer on everything that it does not like, feeding it the oxygen, going out with my family, going out for as many walks as I can, enjoying life that as much as I can with my family. That's what I need to enjoy, and how enjoying life. Just because you have cancer, it doesn't mean it's the end of life. You make it the beginning of life. That's personally how I look at it. So I try to stay positive of enjoying my life with my family and my wife, and making it easy for them by me staying positive. It keeps them positive so I can control my environment. That's what I had talked about in my previous video, in controlling your environment and making people understand what you're going through and the knowledge that you have learned. You could pass it on to your family, not only your family, but other people that have cancer, so everybody knows what you're going through. So it's not a surprise to them when you start to lose hair, or your mind is not working that much, or if you start having some difficulties on different things, different aspects in your life. Maybe it could even be memory loss. Maybe it's even your speech, like mine, letting them know this is what's going on in my life. This is what I'm dealing with, my cancer. So it's not so surprising to them. Or if you're still working, letting other people around you know this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm going through with this cancer. I'm going to be losing my hair. I'm going to be losing, probably, maybe even you end up having a stroke with your cancer. You end up losing your ability on one side of your body. So I really believe knowledge is the power. That's a big do on researching what you have and researching what the doctors are going to be giving you as your chemo, and understanding what that chemo is and what it will do for you and how it kills your particular cancer. Like, I had done a lot of research on Optivo and Yervoy. Yervoy is mostly for your neuro, for your brain. If you have tumors in your brain, Yervoy is usually the one that goes after that and helps kill the tumors that are in your head. And the Optivo is for the rest of your body. And I had listened to a lot of studies on that particular drug on different research centers around the U.S., and I saw that the survival rate was so high, and also the effectiveness that was in that medication, and the reaction that other people have had on it, and on the reducing the size of the tumors that they had. So that made me a lot more comfortable, a lot more positive, knowing that I can fight this on a positive front, knowing that I'm going to win my fight, and that I will get out of this, and that it's not a problem for me. So I gained the knowledge, which calmed me down a lot, and also calmed down my family and my wife, knowing that this is a fightable fight, that this is a winnable fight against the cancer that I'm dealing with. And it's just not that I'm dealing with, that my family's dealing with. So it's a group fight. So it's a war that we're looking to win. And I hope that you're looking to win your war, and try to join me here on the Cancer Connection, on my personal voyage on fighting this horrible disease. And I hope that you comment below, and also I'm going to leave my email below, so if there's anything that you want to talk about your cancer, I could bring it up on the channel and answer some of your questions. So I hope that you leave some comments down below. What would you like to know about me, or my cancer, or the centers that I'm with, or the nutrition that I'm on? So that's one of the next things on my next video on Wednesday. So my videos are coming out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So 3 times a week. My video on Wednesday is going to be about some of the nutrition that I'm on, and some of the supplements that I'm on. It's something you're going to probably want to watch, because the nutrition that I'm on and the supplements that I'm on are cancer killers. So I'm taking the fight to the cancer, and I will win this war. We will win this war. It's all about knowledge, and I hope that you come back and check out my channel, The Cancer Connection, on Wednesday, when I go over my supplements that I take, and I'm going to make a shake with you, and I'm going to show you some of the juices that I use to fight this cancer. And again, check out the description below, and I also have a GoFundMe to help me with the billing that I've had to overcome with. That's another thing that we'll go over in the next couple of days is how to deal with the billing with the medication that you're dealing with, or the centers that you're dealing with. There's a lot of help out there that we definitely need, because it's not cheap, and unfortunately it has an impact not only on you personally but on your family. So please check me out on the next couple of days. Please come back on Wednesday so we can have some fun, and I'll show you some of the smoothies that I'm making to kill cancer. Smoothie killers. I got some great smoothie killers, and they taste great too. That I can promise you. Again, my name is Eric Juarez, and I've survived since 2011. I've been fighting since 2011 on melanoma lymphoma. Again, check out the description below. If you have any questions, please comment so I can get back to you. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming back to the Cancer Connection. Again, this is Eric Juarez. Have a great day.